Ilangalishani le bafana masiku izinkozo baba. Ilangalishani le bafana masiku izinkozo baba.
You will not be able to stay home, brother. You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out. You will not be able to lose yourself on Skag and skip out for beer during commercials because the revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by Xerox in 4 parts without commercial interruptions. The revolution will not show you pictures of Nixon blowing a bugle and leading a charge by John Mitchell, General Abrams, and Spyro Agnew. Sanctuary. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by the Schaefer Award Theater and will not star Natalie Woods and Steve McQueen or Bullwinkle and Julia. The revolution will not give your mouth sex appeal. The revolution will not get rid of the nub. The revolution will not make you look 5 pounds thinner because the revolution will not be televised, brother. There will be no pictures of you and Willie Mae pushing that shopping cart down the block on the dead run or trying to slide that color TV into a stolen ambulance. NBC will not be able to predict the winner at 8:32 on the court of 29 districts. The revolution will not be televised. There will be no pictures of pigs shooting down brothers on the instant replay. There will be no pictures of pigs shooting down brothers on the instant replay. There will be no pictures of Whitney Young being run out of bounds on the rail with a brand new process. There will be no slow motion or still lights of Roy Wilkins strolling through Watts in a red, black, and green liberation jumpsuit that he has been saving for just the proper occasion. Green Acres, Beverly Hillbillies, and Hooterville Junction will no longer be so damn relevant, and women will not care if Dick finally got down with Jane on Search for Tomorrow, because black people will be in the street looking for a brighter day. The revolution will not be televised. There will be no highlights of the 11 o'clock news and no pictures of Harry R. Women Liberationists and Jackie Onassis blowing her nose. By Jim Webb or Francis Scott Key, nor sung by Glenn Campbell, Tom Jones, Johnny Cash, Engelbert Humperdinck, or the Rare Earth. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be right back after a message about a white tornado, white lightning, or white people. You will not have to worry about a jump in your bedroom, the tiger in your tank, or the giant in your toilet bowl. The revolution will not go better with goats. The revolution will not fight germs that may cause bad breath. The revolution will put you in the driver's seat. The revolution will not be televised, will not be televised, will not be televised, will not be televised. The revolution will be no rerun, brothers. The revolution will be live.
I'm talking about Shawty going crazy. He going crazy in these motherfuckers. Run that shit back, man.
Man made the car. Man made the train. Man made the electrolyte. Man made the boat for the water. Man thinks about a little bit of baby girl. And man makes them happy. But after man make everything, Goodbye from other men.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Shabaka'S Blacc Experience Enhanced. The air date of this episode is May 7th, 2024. Tonight's subject is the hypocrisy of white America. On this season 8, episode 35 of Shabaka'S Blacc Experience Enhanced, we will be having an open mic discussion on the hypocrisy of white America. According to Wikipedia, hypocrisy is the practice of feigning to be what one is not, or to believe what one does not. The word hypocrisy entered the English language circa 1200 with the meaning the sin of pretending to virtue or goodness. Today, hypocrisy often refers to advocating behaviors that one does not practice. According to Oxford Dictionary, the practice of claiming to have moral standards or beliefs to which one's own behavior does not conform, pretense. Please call in with your questions, comments, and concerns. The call-in number is 516-418-5996. We will be discussing the current issues of the day. This episode is for those 18 years of age and older. This is episode 35 of season 8. This episode is being semi-casted on StreamYard, Facebook, and YouTube. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, what you're seeing that's going on with this farce down there, what is it, Atlanta, Georgia, New York State, or where the hell it is, with a dump, as in human shit. And we wish to make that perfectly clear. It is a circus, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, he's gonna beat it. You know it. I know it. He knows it. The fucking judge knows it. The damn juries know it. The New York Times knows it. And the people who I blame of the utmost is these sellout, sorry, black-ass politicians who perpetuate this hypocrisy even more. We're all the same. No, we're not. Do you know, ladies and gentlemen, if everybody was all the same, they'll be signing a signature the same way. If everybody was all the same, they will be having the same fingerprints. So, black family, let us move away from this bullshit and do what needs to be done for ourselves. And then for those of you who would like to follow Shabaka'S Blacc Experience Enhanced, please develop a profile here on Blog Talk. That there would be free, and you'll be alerted when we're coming on. Also, too, we're up there on the Tweety Bird as well, too. Please follow Shabaka, capital EXP. We call it Stinky Bird because the guy who owns it, they say he has a musk. And generally, a musk means that you stink. Okay, so we're going to unmute the mic from our Denver office with our co-host, Brother Chain Krumah.
Yes, greetings,
Brother Chain.
From the Mile High Income City. Can you hear me? Shabaka, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. And you're kind of distorted a little bit. It sounds like you might have your components a little bit too close to each other.
It's the connection, Shabaka.
Okay. Well, yeah, I understand that. Yeah, and then once again, the hypocrisy of white America. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has the freedom of speech and
except us.
All this garbage. And then yeah. Okay, yeah, you sound good now. And then,
everybody knows freedom. We got Twin and Mac 285 in the chat on the StreamYard. Who else is in there?
Okay.
Yeah, they were.
Ask them to please call in so we could hear the brother.
I think they're working, but
yeah, and then okay, all right. So anyway, we went to that other podcast. They had just ended. You know who I'm talking about. and Sarge was there, so we don't know if Sarge is going to be AWOL tonight or not, Okay, but this hypocrisy is real. You see, now this is why when black people call themselves Americans, okay, I would say that we are Americanized, but as far as being quote unquote true Americans, I can't see it. Now that just may be me,
Yeah, that's just new, Shabaka, because like I said,
I mean,
there would be no United States without our ancestors' blood, sweat, and toil. There would be no United States of America without our ancestors.
What now?
There would be no United States of America without our ancestors. We built this country. There was no country until we built
the country. Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah. And that there's sound reasoning. And then we have an unknown caller right here. We think we know who it is. Unknown caller. Please press 1. We'll be happy to unmute your microphone. And if this is Sarge, so far, Sarge, all charges against you of desertion have been dismissed. You have been, coming in pretty regular. And, if this is Sarge or what have you. Okay, but when we look at the hypocrisy, Brother Che, of how they treated us as the people, you see what I'm saying? And then they want to, have our unconditional loyalty. Somebody's got their hand up right here.
Sarge.
Okay, unknown.
Sarge in this corner.
First of all, I'd like you to know that I appreciate, but I also refuse to accept your pardon because I was never guilty of anything.
Okay, Sarge, I don't blame you. Okay, like Ehrlichman and Hollingsman and Tricky. All right, man, I'm not mad at you. Okay?
Thank you, sir.
I'm not mad at you. You have a hypocritical right of the United States Constitution, which really isn't worth a damn, that says you have a right to avoid self-incrimination. But why is it, Sarge, when black people go to exercise this right, particularly there in Los Angeles County, they taken into a rubber room, beaten half to death, you know what I'm saying, forced to sign false confessions and what have you? Shed some light on that there, Sarge.
Well, first of all, let me start off by saying that hypocrisy is the compliment that vice pays to virtue. Now, you understand that, don't you?
Okay.
So, in other words, if you don't have any sort of a moral center at all, you really can't be a hypocrite because you have to know what is right and wrong.
Yeah.
So, I'd like you to keep that in context as you call the United States a hypocritical nation.
Which it is.
All right. Okay. Well, but they understand that there are virtues that are supposed to be at least paid attention to, which is why, to some extent, we have hypocrisy. You don't have hypocrites or people that are completely evil and amoral. They don't even have a sense of hypocrisy. You understand what I'm saying?
We don't.
They don't have no sense of morality.
A virtue to be a hypocrite.
They don't have any sense of morality in the first place, but they always telling us, you do the right thing. Right is right, wrong is wrong. You have no morality, Caucasoid.
Okay, now you just made a categorical statement that you know is wrong.
No, it's not wrong, Sarge. Prove me wrong. Please prove me wrong.
You just said Caucasoids have no sense of virtue and morality. Now you know that's not true.
Yes, it is true.
No, come on now. You know
that's not true.
And if you don't, if you do think it's true,
prove it's not true.
Ladies and gentlemen, and we are rumbling here already.
I'm waiting, Sarge.
This is going to be a good one.
I'm waiting, Sarge. Prove it's not true.
This is going to be a good one.
All right. Again, let me say again what I led off the show with. Hypocrisy is a compliment that vice pays to virtue. As we all know, and I've said here repeatedly, as I've told you, the framers of the Constitution, the founders of this nation,
the rapist, trading pedophiles. Yes,
they knew they were sinners. They acknowledged their being sinners. And that is precisely why they came up with the Constitution that they did.
They were sinners.
They didn't pretend to be saints like a lot of people do. They knew what they did was wrong, and they wanted to limit the amount of power any one of them could have.
They knew what they did was
whatever
wrong.
evil that was them
went out of their
would
way
be
to justify what they
minimized.
did was wrong by saying, "Oh,
Yes,
this is
I
the
am
white man's
justifying.
burden.
Yes.
This is my
Yes, I am
manifest
justifying.
destiny.
That's precisely what
This
I'm doing.
is my manifest
And if you let me
destiny.
explain to
It
you,
is
I'll
my
explain to you
obligation to
why.
civilize these savages." Yeah, why?
All right,
Why?
okay,
Why?
here we go.
Why,
Okay,
Sarge?
Brother
Why?
Paris does have okay, no, he has a point on that there, Sarge, is because, hold on now. Now, when the Pilgrims got here with their funky, stinking, and nasty, unclean
No, not this
asses,
again.
okay.
Don't just
Yes,
do
this
the
again,
Mandingo
Sarge.
thing,
Yes,
okay?
this again.
Okay, no, we're not
Just
doing
leave the Mandingo
Yes,
thing out
this
of it
again,
tonight, will
Sarge.
you?
Yes, again.
In the Sarge.
I mean, I'll acknowledge they
Sarge.
probably didn't smell too good after
They didn't
after
smell pretty
a
good.
2-month
Sarge,
voyage.
you have to stand a
on
quarter of
IC.
a mile away from
With
these
no
savages.
shower.
Go ahead, Shabaka.
Okay, but Sarge, why did they give the Native American people blankets with smallpox, Sarge? Why did they do that?
Yeah, you mixing up. You said the Pilgrims. The Pilgrims didn't give
You're
the
trying to
Indians
say
no
that these got a moral
smallpox
compass.
infested
I'm
blanket.
trying to see you prove that they have a moral compass and they have some kind of virtue.
Okay. See, I can't do one thing at a time. I started to do one thing, you
No,
jumped
because
off
you
on
told me
another thing.
I wasn't telling what I was saying wasn't true.
Okay.
So,
All right. Okay. Again, the Pilgrims didn't give the Indians smallpox infested blankets because they would have caught it too. They had enough problems trying to survive without deliberately inflicting
that's a lie,
with smallpox.
Sarge, that's a lie.
Okay, but Sarge, why did they come here? And why did they think that they were so self-righteous and calling these people savages, man? You know, when the Thanksgiving came in, man, they showed them how to farm. They had a feast with them. You know what I'm saying? But then the Pilgrims come here, or the Puritans, you know, and I believe, who was king of England that they was trying to get away from?
King James.
Yeah, the first. Yeah, King James the First. Yes, I stand corrected. Yes, sir. You know, Sarge, you see, Sarge, I'm old, okay? Senility is starting to set in, man. You know what I'm saying? And what have you. Okay, this beautiful sun is out here baking, man, here in Nevada. You know what I'm saying? This is God's country out here. I just got back from Gavin Newsom's state, man, a couple of days ago, man. It stinks. It's rotten. You know what I'm saying? Okay.
It is true.
And these reptilians are no good. And this is why I appreciate Brother Perez, man, you know, running for office, you know what I'm saying, as a third-party candidate, and he needs our support, okay? It's because when I look at Nancy Pelosi's nephew, Gruesome Newsom, right, this individual has no morals himself. Him and Donald Duck got something in common, okay? They want to go up here and go get with married women.
None of these savages that are
referred
to as Europeans,
and I mean
white Americans,
and
Caucasians. They don't have no moral standards.
And they come to us,
no moral compass.
Right, and then they come to us,
not exist.
Calling us savages and things of this nature here, but you know, the white man, when he comes here, okay, he calls, you know, the Native American women savages, the African women who were slaves are savages, but yet, though, he wants to go out there and have sex with them. This hypocrisy, I do not understand. Now, with you being the elder here, Sarge, meaning you're older than me, please explain to me this hypocrisy.
And by the way, I ain't seen it out even a little bit either. How about that?
Okay. Well,
not even a little bit. My short-term and long-term memory is superb.
Okay, Sarge, I understand, you know, feel blessed. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, you know, just don't bring your napkin holder with you, man. You know, you're dangerous with that napkin holder, Sarge.
Oh, yes, and I need beef. Indeed, I am. Indeed, I am.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Sarge.
Yeah, Sarge. So I'm scared of you, Sarge. You know what I'm saying? Let me turn off this air conditioner here in the background because I know it's making some noise. Come on, off button. Okay, did it go off? Okay, it finally went off. All right. Now, Okay, now we got this presidential selection coming up, Sarge. Okay, and I'm on the couch, man. You know what I'm saying? Now, Brother Jay, could run for office. Here in the great state of Nevada, I'll vote for him. But as far as going out here for Biden, who shits on himself, and
so Sarge,
and the senile old bastard ain't making no sense.
Sarge, I got
can't vote for somebody incompetent like that.
Thoughts on something real quick, Shabaka. So Sarge, in 2020 they had all those mail-in ballots come in. Are you aware that the great state of Nevada is trying to out the mail-in ballots for after the election, so they don't come in like they did in 2020? What are your thoughts on that, Sarge?
Okay, I'm going to say again. The mail-in ballot issue was rife, overrun, suffused with, saturated with fraud and irregularities, both constitutionally, legally, and in violation of election law in all of the states. The only question is to what degree it was corrupt. In some states were more corrupt than others, but in every single one of the states that had universal mail-in balloting, there was fraud and corruption in every single one with regard to ballot harvesting, without exception.
You get no argument from me, Sarge. Now, how do we go about proving it, Sarge?
Okay, now
that
prove
is the question. How do we go about proving it?
Thank you, Brother Chase. Yeah, prove it.
Do you really mean you actually want me to prove it?
I can't prove it. I'm not talking about
let me answer the question.
Sarge.
You ask the question, now let me answer it. I can't. The way we prove things is to have them challenge in an adversarial proceeding of some sort. I don't know if this would qualify as it, but I would like it to be done in a court of law. What I can muster in support of my contention is an abundance of evidence that it was so. I can do that very easily. Very easily.
Okay, Sarge.
Okay. So do you have direct evidence, exculpatory evidence?
No, I have direct evidence. I have direct evidence. I have documentarial evidence. I have audit evidence. I have the election of eyewitnesses who submitted depositions and answered subpoenas. I have all of that as evidence. Proof would come about in some sort of adversarial proceeding where people are under oath and there's a trial. And thus far, because everybody is scared to death to address the issue, they weren't allowed to come into court so they can have it done.
Now, Sarge, you and I both know how the courts operate in Crook County, Sarge. We know how they operate in New York City. In Los Angeles County, Sarge, what they do with their evidence is that they take the suspects, the 5 of them, as you already know. They beat the first one. They beat the second one worse than they did the first. They did the second one. And the fourth one tells you, confesses, in these kangaroo courts of law, to quote Lisa Cabrera. And the fifth one confirms it, Sarge. You see what I'm saying? Police interrogation product by
let me give you this as a preliminary indication of why I believe what I believe. Now, this is evidence. This is evidence in the form of a Rasmussen patrol last year in December of 2023. They conducted a landmark survey of about, I think, 5,000 voters, which is a sizable sample. 5,000 voters nationwide. That's considered a very good number to conduct a poll. And here's what they did. Remember, the Heartland Institute and the Rasmussen Institute, this is what it said. 21% of mail-in voters admitted that they voted in a state where they were no longer a permanent resident. This is mail-in voters now. 21% of the mail-in voters surveyed admitted they filled out a ballot for a friend or family member. 17% of mail-in voters said they signed a ballot for a friend or family member with or without his or her permission. 19% of mail-in voters said that a friend or family member filled out the ballot in part or in full on their behalf. And finally, 8% of the voters surveyed said that a friend, family member, or organization, such as a political party, offered to pay or reward them for voting. Every one of the things that I just said is illegal in every state, mail-in ballot. And that's just one little thing. I've got of things like this that indicates massive fraud in the election.
Okay. Now let me ask you this, Sarge. When you submitted your third or fourth ballots for Trump, man, how much did they pay you? After all, you're from Chicago, man.
So you really don't have a response to what I say. So I refuse to answer on the grounds it might tend to incriminate me, and you really have no answer.
Okay, Sarge.
You know what I mean? You have no answer to what I say, and you know what I said is true.
Okay, Sarge. Let me explain something to you, man. Okay. I'm on the couch this year. From the time I was 18 until I was 40 years old, Sarge, you know, I used to vote in every election, rather if it was the governor's race or the midterm elections, municipal elections, of course, the presidential elections. But when they got up there and said, in 2000, okay, is that we made a mistake. We projected Al Gore to be the winner, but in actuality, it's W. Okay, you know, the son of a president himself. Okay, old George W. You know what I mean, and what have you. Okay, so then they had these funny looking ballots with these tags hanging on. We call those the punch out things or whatever.
Hanging Chad.
Yeah, there you go. Now, Sarge, ask yourself.
See how good my memory is? Yeah,
well, that's good. Sarge. That's real good. Yeah. Now, let me ask you this here. Okay, George W. Bush. Okay, George Walker Bush, not H.W., but his son. Okay, running for president in 2000. Okay, because Slick Willie couldn't run, you know, due to term limits, right? But don't you find it kind of interesting, Sarge, that W's brother Jeb at the time was the governor of the great state of Florida? Now, Sarge, we have two.
Well, I thought it interesting, but I want you to tell me what was irregular or fraudulent about it. It's very interesting. Now, tell me what was irregular or fraudulent about it.
Okay, just like Chris Cuomo, who is the brother of Mario Cuomo, the governor of New York, right, who has a platform and what have you, right? So quite naturally, out of family loyalty, Sarge, the man is going to back up his brother. That is a given. The only time that they have a problem with these tactics is black people do it. You see what I'm saying? Because they show all these crazy ass moves, Coffee, Superfly, the Mac. Now, you're a little older than me, Sarge. You remember that garbage, you know, and damn it is right, yeah. And it was straight garbage, okay. But Hollywood will make you a star to degrade yourself, you know what I'm saying? Just like with the orange dude here. Seeing Stormy Daniels and what have you, and this hypocrisy that they got coming out of New York State. I could care less, man, what Donald Duck did with Stormy Daniels. You see what I'm saying? And
good for you. Good for you.
I could care less. The only thing I want to do is see this orange dude, you know, with his Cheeto-looking ass, man. I want to see him in a jumpsuit that says whatever county jail, okay, where he has to walk the concrete, okay, placed into the main general population, Sarge. Well, you know, he's a former president. He needs Secret Service protection. His life's in danger. As you know, Sarge, anybody who gets booked in the jail, their life is in danger. I mean, let's look at Sandra Bland. You see what I'm saying?
She committed, all the evidence shows she committed suicide. I mean, the biggest danger she had apparently is from her own self. What are you going to do about that?
Okay, how did Ms. Bland commit suicide, Sarge? And of course, our condolences goes out to Ms. Bland's family. But tell me, and I ask you, Sarge, here on this platform that is live all around the world with our 3 listeners and everything, on StreamYard, on Facebook, explain to me, Sarge, in your expert opinion, sir, I ask you, how did Ms. Bland commit suicide?
First of all, I have her on video, and I've seen it. admitting to bouts of Great Depression and the many times she has contemplated suicide. This is before she got arrested. So I've got that bit of evidence to indicate her predisposition to suicide. Now, as to the method of her suicide, it would appear that she used some trash bags that she twisted together and used them to hang herself. Now, does that mean that it happened that way? Since there were no direct witnesses, there was no video. It could have happened that she was murdered and made to look like a suicide. But show me the evidence that that happened, especially given the fact that we have evidence of her speaking of her enormous depression and suicidal ideation.
Okay, but Sarge, the way I understand
you can ignore that. You can ignore that as it doesn't matter.
Okay, hold on, Sarge. But from what I understand, over information that I've came across, okay, is that she was on her way to a job interview out of state from where she was traveling to, because I believe Ms. Bland was from Chicago, okay? And why would this woman all of a sudden going for a job interview, you see what I'm saying, will commit suicide when it is her intent to go get interviewed for a job? And let's go so far as to say a job paying, you know, better pay for her, better benefit package for her, or maybe she just wanted to change the location and what have you. So that's reasonable doubt to me right there, Sarge. You know what I'm saying? That she would commit suicide.
Well, Shabaka, everything you said are grounds for a hypothesis, but the hypothesis has got to be supported by some evidence. When you come up, or anyone else comes up with some evidence to indicate that the hypothesis is supported by that evidence, get back to me and I'll take a look at it. In the meantime, I'm going to go with a suicide.
So he basically saying he got to hear the white cell approval before he believe it, Shabaka. That's all he's saying. He needs the white cell approval.
No, I'm not. What do you want me to do? You want me to just make up something? This is why
she was killed. These are the circumstances.
No, just acknowledge. Okay, just acknowledge that she was killed. I'll tell you what I'll do, Shabaka.
Under highly
questionable circumstances.
Okay, Shabaka, I will acknowledge the possibility of a homicide at the hands of another person.
Okay.
I'll acknowledge it as a possibility, but I am not going to accept it as a certainty until you show me some evidence.
Okay, now, Sarge, you just said it right there. You presented evidence yourself. Reasonable doubt is the evidence that you have just that you showed. Okay, so which means is this, Sarge? Okay, now Sarge is Sarge. Now Sarge. Okay, now Brother Chase, Sarge is Sarge. He carries a lot of weight. You know what I'm saying? You know, he's every place. Okay, so I give Sarge that. You know, Brother Chase.
Sarge that said that George Floyd died from fentanyl overdose. And that Freddie
the autopsy report the autopsy reports, 3 separate autopsies tend to confirm that. Yes.
That he died from fentanyl overdose.
So you're telling me?
You want me to give you the evidence of it?
Sarge, stop it. That was.
You want to call all the medical examiners liars?
Sarge, you've been speaking.
Sarge, you want to call all of the medical examiners who did the autopsy liars and participating in a corrupt enterprise, then be my guest. But again, that's all you're going to be able to do. What I'm going to be able to do is cite evidence from the 3 separate autopsy reports that, yes, I believe one of the major contributors to George Floyd's death was his fentanyl and other opioid drug intoxication.
So it wasn't.
Sorry.
It wasn't his on his neck that killed him, even though the whole world seen that on video.
And I will just cite the evidence, and you can believe or disbelieve you would.
Otherwise, we would have been hearing the same thing we're hearing from Sarge. There's nothing we can do. We have to wait for the evidence.
See, here we go again. I'm going to always look facts in the evidence.
We investigated ourselves.
First thing I'm going to look
at. Nothing wrong.
The facts. Hey, facts that I got, Sarge, is this. Me and Brother Che, ourselves, we had looked at that video, man, at least 10 times.
That's all you need to know, right? You don't need to know anything else.
Okay.
The video told the whole
Okay, Sarge. The man expires. Okay, the man expires on himself
at 9.
Okay, at 9:02, 9:05, I believe, Brother Che. Chauvin's knee was still on his neck. He was shifting his weight to apply more pressure. He's being videotaped by a young woman, and he is not showing no regard whatsoever for that man's life right there. Is because George Floyd and Chauvin was seeing a Stormy Daniels nightclub where they both worked as bouncers. Okay, so Chauvin, it was an adulterer. Okay. Chauvin was upset because this other woman that he was seeing had an interest in black men. Okay, so I'm looking at right there, Sarge, as jealousy as the motive. Then, in addition to Sarge, when the murderous Los Angeles Police Department comes in there with their use of force experts, and then they say that this is cruel and that this is wrong, something is very, very wrong here, to quote Al Pacino and Injustice for All. Something is very wrong here.
Okay, so now that you've got this other evidence that is peripheral to the issue involved, and admittedly it is whether or not he had an affair, whether or not he was jealous, that's peripheral. That is in establishing a motive. And then you're telling me that all of a sudden that you see a video and therefore no other evidence matters. Now I recall just a week or two ago what we were talking about with regards to Abu Mumaya Jamal. And I cited evidence directly pertaining to his guilt, particularly hospital attendees testified to as firsthand hearing what he said, which is spontaneous utterance, which, by the way, is an exception to the rule. I shot the motherfucker, and I hope that he died. Now, you pay that no mind and no attention, despite the fact that the gun he was killed with was also to belong to Mr. Jamal. And a whole host of other evidence indicating his guilt, and you didn't miss all of it. But I'm supposed to take your word about a peripheral relationship and say, see, that's because I saw a video that therefore he murdered George Floyd.
You literally used the same talking point.
Okay, but Sarge.
Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it.
Sarge, George Floyd was bound. Okay, if George Floyd had resisted arrest at that point right there, Sarge, or put up some type of struggle without being handcuffed, Sarge, I might see you halfway. But this man was clearly handcuffed, meaning that he was bound.
Yep.
Also, too, George Floyd and Derek Chauvin had previous run-ins. Okay, as proved in the court, okay, is where they had videotape of their previous encounter where George Floyd was referred to, Mr. Officer, don't do this to me. Mr. Officer, what do you want me to do? Mr. Officer, okay. Mr. Officer, sorry.
Look, Shabaka, as someone who has had more than his share of experience in subduing resisting subjects and never killed any of them, never, not once, I would not have handled it the way Chauvin did. I weighed between 195 and two. Wait, let me finish. I weighed in between 195 and 205 pounds when I was working on the job. Does my weight fluctuate? Usually up or down. Now look, so I would have had a way to get him under control without having to do it in that manner. But remember, Chauvin had been trained in the maximal restraint technique by the Minneapolis Police Department. He was certified in the technique to use it, as having been trained. The instruction manual showed where you're supposed to put your knee. We have confirming video from the other officers at the time Chauvin was on his knee, showing he had his knee in the position recommended by the training regimen. Exactly the location he's supposed to put it.
Okay, hold on, Sarge. Now, hold on. So once again, to quote Al Pacino.
Now, don't ignore what I just said. I said we got video showing he had his knee where they're trained to put it. I saw the photograph in the Minneapolis Police Department training manual showing where you're supposed to put your knee.
And where were you supposed to put your knee?
And it wasn't on his neck.
Now, Sarge.
Okay, Sarge. Yes, it was on his neck.
Sarge.
So, Sarge, you're telling us we didn't see what we seen.
It wasn't on his
Again,
neck.
you're telling us we didn't see what we seen, just like y'all tried to do with Mike Brown. Oh, he didn't have his.
Here we go again. So the video, I just told you there's a video showing, and you're completely ignoring
eyes. So we didn't see what we seen. So where was his knee at, Sarge?
His knee was on the scapula, which is the shoulder blade, that triangular bone.
That's mighty
on your shoulder, in the back of your, in the upper part of your back.
So how do you differentiate?
That's where they had the knee. That's where the training regimen said.
How do you differentiate that from your neck?
Oh, Sarge.
See, here's what I mean. Now, you want me to answer the question? You just asked a direct question.
I did ask a direct question. You still haven't given an answer.
And the answer is, you know what human anatomy is. You see
Sarge,
where the knee is.
Question.
There's an inescapable deduction that is where it is. The scapula, which is where the training says you're supposed to put your knee.
That's not what I asked, Sarge.
Okay, so what you're saying is, Sarge. Okay, let me
George Floyd's anatomy wasn't different from any other member of Homo sapiens.
That's not what I asked. I said what differentiates.
You asked me how you would know. That's what you asked me.
Yeah, so how do you differentiate between
scapula and the neck? In the LA County court system,
wait a minute, Shabaka. Shay just asked me how would I know. I gave him how I would know. I saw the video from the other officers that showed Chauvin's knee on George Floyd's shoulder blade. I saw the video.
Blade. Are you sure?
And the video was taken at the same time because they were, remember, all of the video was time stamped. So at the same time you can see the knee on his shoulder, you can look at another video that might make it appear that it was on his neck.
Either way, why is his knee on him, period, Sarge?
That's how I know. So now you asked me the question, and I just told you how.
No, you don't know, Sarge.
Sarge.
You're telling us we didn't see what we seen.
Okay,
but
Sarge.
What you've seen is supposed to be Sarge.
Okay, Sarge. Okay, let me ask you this question here, Sarge. Do you drink occasionally?
Rarely. Only at fraternal situations like funerals and weddings and celebration with my buddies. I'd say I probably drink 10 times a year.
Sure.
Okay.
I don't like alcohol particularly much, man. I'm not. Hey, why do you think I'm so good and I'm in such good shape for my age? Because I feel all that stuff.
Okay, Sarge, now that's
the
wonderful thing.
Okay. I'm certain that's part of the reason.
Okay, do you smoke marijuana, Sarge?
No, not anymore. I'm smoking marijuana since 1980.
Okay, now let me. Okay, you have smoked it before.
Yeah, I used to enjoy it too. Hey, I used to enjoy it too.
Sarge. Okay, now have you ever taken any prescriptions by Dr. Timothy O'Leary, commonly referred to as lysergine, acid, commonly referred to as LSD?
No, never.
Okay, and keep in mind, Sarge, you was over there in Vietnam, you know, in the late 1960s. Hell,
there was a lot of LSD in Nam, man. It was a lot of opium. There was a lot of heroin. There was a lot of opium and heroin. No, the Army used to issue. The Army would issue us methamphetamines on range patrol, so we could stay awake.
Okay, to keep you up. What I know, Sarge, is that methamphetamines, man, is still a controlled substance under section number. Not for the
Army, it isn't. Overseas in a war zone.
I see. So in other words,
there was nothing illegal about the Army giving me those speed pills so I wouldn't fall asleep on a 3-day patrol.
Okay, Sarge. Now, let me ask you this here, Sarge, in regard to Donald Trump. It's not illegal if the president does it, correct?
Wait, what did he say?
Okay, it's not illegal if the president does it. I'm talking about your commander-in-chief in Vietnam from 1969 to 1974.
It depends on what the president has done.
It depends.
Like sending harlequin and Ehrlichman and what have you, and our man there, John Dean,
participating
who got up there.
in obstruction of justice and a cover-up of a crime is not within the scope of presidential authority.
And this is why he no longer has Richard Nixon to stick around anymore.
So why did
crime? The president, in fact, was guilty of that.
Sarge. Okay, as you and I both know, back to the dump, as in human shit. And we want to make that perfectly clear. He's not getting convicted, man. Okay, and what I'm about to do, Sarge, I'm about to see over in one of these casinos, man, if they got, some wages going on of Trump getting convicted and being not convicted, being convicted or acquitted. I'm going to bet, Sarge, about $25, after I check my penny jar here, they're saying that this dude is going to walk. The whole trial is out of order. Trump is out of order. The jury's out of order. Okay, the jury's out of order. Sarge is a kangaroo court, and they're going to go there and they're going to acquit this crook. Okay? I ain't mad at him. You know what I'm saying? I ain't mad at him. The dude is a damn crook. Okay.
All right. Now can I? All right. Let me give you a little tidbit. By the way, I've been meaning to tell you this. You haven't given me a chance to get it in yet. I want to get it in. I always love it. I always love it when these Trump deranged, corrupt politicians get heist on their own petard. I just love it when they do. Well, one of the authors of the law that got Donald Trump sued by this crazy woman named E. Jean Carroll, who had absolutely no basis for a wild accusation whatsoever. The tale was so riddled with holes and so specious, it was laughable. The co-author of this thing, when they said it, by the way, it had an expiration date. Did you know that? Because they did it to get Donald Trump.
I did.
That's what it did. And it expired. But wait a minute, let me finish now because this is too delicious. Let me finish.
Go ahead, sir.
Before the law that they set up just to get Donald Trump, the Adult Survivors Act, the Adult Rape Survivors, or whatever they called it, a woman sued one of the authors of that act for the exact same thing that E. Jean Carroll sued Donald Trump for. Too damn delicious. And she got it in just under the expiration date. And guess what? This is the most delicious thing of all. The guy who's getting sued says it's unconstitutional to do this to him.
I see.
Unconstitutional. I love it.
Okay, Sarge. Okay. I'm not mad at you, Sarge.
Well, you shouldn't be. You really ought to be and say, Sarge, don't tell me it ain't. Say it ain't so, Sarge.
Sarge, you are expressing of how you.
You want me to give you the details? Hey, the guy's name is State Senator Kevin Parker of New York. He was one of the principal progenitors of the Adult Survivors Act, and now he's being sued by a woman. Now listen to this. This is also going to kind of get you on this. You're going to love the circumstance behind it. He's a black man, by the way. And guess what he's getting sued? He's getting sued by a woman. The woman who's suing him worked with him with regard to Haiti.
Okay.
He was working with as a staffer with investigations in a relief for Haiti, and he came over to a house, she alleges, and he raped her.
Now, Sarge, that
don't look it up if you don't believe it. The guy's name is New York Senator Kevin Parker. And he now says the law, which we all know was meant to ensnare President Trump, he says the law is unconstitutional now that the rape suit is against him, and he's one of the principal co-authors of the law. I just love this shit.
Well, Sarge, as you know, and as we know, man, the whole trial is out of order. The judge is out of order. Trump is out of order. The prosecutors is out of order. Them high-priced, crooked-ass attorneys that he's got, they are out of order, Sarge. And it's all called hypocrisy.
Hey, let me tell you something there, brother. First of all, this act that he's being accused of happened in 2004. He voted for the legislation in 2021. Kathy Hochul signed it into law in May of 2022, and it expired in November of 2023. It was passed just to get Trump.
Okay, all righty, okay.
Now come on now, tell the truth.
Okay. Oh, I am going to tell the truth.
And by the way, the woman that is making the allegations is named Olga Jean Baptiste. And she says that when she was working with Parker on relief efforts for Haiti in 2004, he grabbed her by the wrists and forcibly raped her at her home.
Well, that's an act wrong within itself.
I believe in a man is guilty. He's innocent until he's proven guilty. Do you?
Right.
Okay, Sarge, the way how these kangaroo courts go, Sarge, it's all about, man, who's got the money, who could beat the rap. You see what I'm saying? And then just like in the Rodney King case, Sarge. Okay, I'm saying that led to the worst urban riot in U.S. history when these individuals are going to sit up there and say that these officers who were caught red-handed were not guilty. Now, to quote the words of Dr. King, Sarge, a riot is the voice of the unheard, is what that is.
26. January 6th.
Okay.
Oh,
no, I'm talking about.
No, I guess you don't mean
no, Sarge, I'm talking about April 29th, 1992. Sarge, I'm talking about April 29th, 1992. Yes,
you celebrate the 32nd anniversary, Sarge.
I really do. Oh, yeah. Okay, so
I love this shit. I love it.
Okay, but Sarge, this is why I'm on the couch. You see what I'm saying? This election, I can't do it. Okay, because I voted in every election, Sarge, from the time that I was 18 until I was 40. When I look at Biden, who sits up there and shits on his pants, falls up the stairs, and then when I look at this compulsive lie, this orange Cheeto-looking dude, you know what I'm saying, man? Who's a multi-billionaire, you know what I'm saying? He doesn't need the money. He's bored. He's got so much money that Trump can afford to be stupid. Okay?
Oh, my goodness. Come on, Shabaka. Now, you know doggone well that man, if he hadn't decided to run for election, would none of this be happening to him right now. They see that man rightly or wrongly, and they probably are exaggerating the threat he actually is to them. But they are so damn paranoid, like good little communists they are.
Speaking of paranoid,
and there were few people in the history of mankind who are more paranoid than just as Stalin. They're a bunch of Stalinists just like him, and they perceive him as such a threat. They're willing to blow the Constitution out and everything they claim to believe in order to get him. I swear, it is too delicious for me.
You talking about the Democrats, correct?
Sarge. Yeah, he's talking about the Democrats. You know what I'm saying?
Damn right I am. And I got much more to say about him, too.
Well, we're all here, Sarge. We're no fans of the Democrats either.
No Democrats here. We don't support no Democrats there at all, Sarge. This is the place to
that's the thing, man. This is the thing. I just wish, I don't have any problem with you criticizing Trump. He is, after all, a politician. Every politician should be subject to scrutiny. And I ain't got no problem with you criticizing Trump. That's why every time you criticize him, I respond to it. Every single time. Whenever you make a criticism about Trump, I respond to it. Sometimes I agree with you. Rarely, but I do occasionally. Most of the time I don't, but I always tell you why. And I'm going to tell you one thing. I wish you had as much energy going at these blaming rats as you do against Trump. I ain't got no problem with you criticizing him, no. He's a politician, and all politicians, no matter whether you like him or not, should be thoroughly scrutinized.
Sarge, the majority of these damn politicians you have deserve to go right straight to fucking jail. Okay, starting with Brandon Johnson, Eric Adams, okay, Karen Bass.
See, I love it when we have agreement and clarity. I love it when we have agreement and clarity. We agree completely.
Okay, now hold on, Sarge. Now, for all my haters out there, for all my haters out there, okay, these are black politicians. Now, why am I crumb bumming on these black politicians is because neither one of these no good bastards have the black community's interests at heart. They want to sit up there and sell out. They want to sit up there and take trips down there to the Bahamas. They want to sit up there and want to rub elbows with George Soros and all that shit. Hell, probably half of them been to the Playboy Mansion, out there in Holmby Hills. You know what I'm saying? Hell, Hugh Hefner had his own zip code. You see what I'm saying? But we're not going to talk about Mr. Hefner. After all, the man is dead, and the guy who sold the property to the Playboy Mansion put it in a contract that, hey, man, you could have the Playboy Mansion, man, but you got to let me stay there until I check out. Now, Hefner checked out, okay? Hopefully he's got wings and all that old type of business. You see what I mean? Okay, all right. Okay, it's because, see, Sarge, Los Angeles, Hollywood in particular, is built on one thing, Sarge: illusions and money. You see what I'm saying? Do you know how many damn times, Sarge, when I was growing up there in L.A., man, I would walk down Sunset Boulevard, up Vine Street, down Hollywood Boulevard. Hey, guy, you want to be extra off in this film? Well, how much are you paying me? Nothing, but you see, we'll give you some exposure. Hey, and I tell them, hey, man, check this out. You have a nice day, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm on to my little nickel paying an hour job, man, and I'm not about to stand up there, sign a bunch of documents, releasing my imagery that's going to make you individuals hundreds of and tens of millions of dollars, and I don't get nothing. No. Actually, and I know you and I are in the same age group, Sarge. There was an album by a group called The Miracles called The City of Angels. There's a song on there called Poor Charlotte. Listen to it, and I recommend everybody else. You say, now, moving right along here, Sarge, on to the next agenda. Now, how do you feel about these migrants, Sarge, getting your tax dollars, given a place to live, given a house, and you can't get one? Now, how do you feel about that, Sarge?
I will give you my answer in two succinct, short words. Mass deportation.
Okay, all righty. Okay. You'll get no argument from me, Sarge. Now, all that money that they're giving these migrants, now, you know, Sarge, they can go up there and the U.S. could pay the debts that it owed, which is $860 trillion in tangibles and reparations to those the descendants of slaves. Oh, yes. Okay, because you see, Sarge, we built this country. Now, we ain't talking about the Irish, Sarge, because see, these was raping slave trading pedophiles as well.
They have anything to do with it.
No.
Only black people.
No,
That's nobody else has anything to do with building the country.
Sarge.
Yeah.
Well, see, we was up there as property, Sarge. We were considered 3/5 of a human being in the U.S. Constitution, and then your boy there who succeeded Lincoln, Lincoln's vice president, who was impeached and was acquitted because no president who was ever impeached has ever been convicted of a crime. Now, the orange dude right there, your boy, they impeached his ass twice. He wasn't convicted in neither one. You see what I'm saying? So you see the hypocrisy here, Sarge. Sorry.
An impeachment is supposed to result in a guilty finding. Is that right?
It's never happened.
Oh, hell yeah, you're damn right. Look at Sarge, look at how many. Sarge, look at how many.
I want to make sure I got that right. You're saying if you get impeached, you're supposed to be found guilty. So what's the point of an impeachment then?
Okay, but Sarge.
trial first, execution first, trial later. Jesus.
Okay, Sarge.
You're supposed to be found guilty.
Okay, but Sarge, they got it rigged up this way so the president will not be found guilty. Look at Tricky. Okay, you know when he says, "Ladies and gentlemen, I am not a crook," and I want to make that perfectly clear.
You just reminded me of something. So the first time I ran for public office, when I was on the ballot here in Colorado, they had us sign this paper that said that we would not be convicted of it had to been at least 10 crimes on that list. I wish I would have took a picture of it, but malfeasance was on it, bribery was on it, racketeering was on it. It was a whole lot of crimes that was on this paper that I had to sign.
Okay.
And it literally said that you will not be convicted.
Okay.
By signing this, you will not be convicted. Blah blah blah. I'm just naming a few of the crimes. It was at least 10.
Right. Okay. Now let me ask you this here,
Sarge.
Sarge.
Not paying attention to all of the new evidence coming out about how Donald Trump was set up with this documents thing, and now the judge is delaying the court proceedings owing to now having to have an evidentiary hearing.
Love it.
Did you miss all that?
It.
The Biden administration has set Trump up as clear as a bell.
Yeah, because they don't want to lose.
Sarge. But see, Sarge, here's the deal. To quote Tommy Lee Jones in The Fugitive with Harrison Ford, I don't care. Because
you don't have to care. But the rest of us do. I'm not asking you to care. I'm just asking you to acknowledge the new evidence. That's all. You ain't got to care about it. I don't care if you care.
So are you trying to say
I'm here to show you
words
the evidence that indicates
the
this whole damn thing is a setup, a show trial, and a kangaroo court by the deep state, of which I would think you would be suspicious of.
So, Sarge,
let me explain something to you. Do you know how many kangaroo courts I've been in, man? And what they said with a kangaroo court, well, we're going to hit you with a felony, but we need you cop to a misdemeanor. Pay a fine. Okay, then you can walk out here. Sarge, walking that concrete, man, ain't nothing nice.
But
you know what I'm saying?
Look, Shabaka, I'm really needed. You don't have to. Shabaka, you don't have to care about it. All I'm asking you to do is acknowledge it. That's all. You don't have to care. You can even hope that Trump gets convicted. I just want you to acknowledge it, that it's there and it deserves examination, at least allegedly under the rule of law.
So, in other words,
Sarge, you remember this here. Hold on, Sarge. Let's turn back the page.
He wants you to
admit to 22. Okay, hold on, Brother Che. 1 second, please.
Okay.
Say that again. What happened?
He wants you to admit the witch hunt is.
Okay, Brother Che, he faded it out. Okay. All right. Okay, now Sarge. Okay. All right. Listen. Okay. People plea bargain, man, because they want to get out of that orange jumpsuit. Okay, people plea bargain, man, because they're tired of walking that concrete. People plea bargain because they want to go out there and smell some fresh air. Men plea bargain because they don't want to be sitting up there taking showers with a bunch of other men. You see what I mean? And what have you. Now, Hollywood glorifies whoredom. Okay, I mean, and any of the ladies out there, the true ladies, this is not against you, but living in Los Angeles, you see what it is. You look at Stormy Daniels. Okay, I wouldn't even let Stormy Daniels down on my dog, man. That there would be animal abuse.
Oh, by the way, Shabaka, you are aware that Stormy Daniels signed an official document attesting to the fact, an official document that she didn't have sexual relations with Donald Trump in 2018.
Okay.
She signed a document to that effect.
Okay, now Sarge. Okay, now what about 2016, 2014, 2000?
No. That's not what the document said. That's not what the document said. Document said she signed the document in 2018 attesting to the fact that she never had sexual relationships with Donald Trump.
Okay, that sounds like Bill Clinton. Read my lips. I never
you call her a liar now? Is she lying? Is she lying now or is she lying then? Because she's lying somewhere.
Okay, Sarge. Once again, Sarge, I don't care. The point is what I'm making is, Sarge.
Okay,
the point is what I'm saying.
You just brought up the fact that you wouldn't let Stormy Daniels hit your dog's dick. You just said it. And now I said, wait a minute. I got Stormy Daniels signing an official document attesting to the fact that she has never had sexual relations at any time with Donald John Trump. And now you're saying you don't care about it, just bring it up and implicating Donald Trump and having sex with a wholesome creature like Stormy Daniels.
Okay, Sarge. Okay. Hollywood is Hollywood.
I listen to what you say, man. I give you the respect to actually listen to what you say and respond to it accurately.
Okay, but Sarge, all this stuff, man, that they got going out there with Donald Duck, Stormy Daniels, what it's doing is it's costing the taxpayers. You see what I'm saying?
Don't blame Donald Trump. Don't blame Donald Trump.
Okay, and then the judge hit him with a gag order. You know what I'm saying? And we yet to see him handcuffed to his chair. Okay, hold it. Wait a minute. But look what they did to Bobby Seale in Chicago. And your neck of the woods.
Same thing there.
No, they gagged Mr. Seale and they bound.
But at least Bobby Seale was disruptive in the courtroom.
No, Mr. Seale merely stated that he had a right to defend himself and he was not given the opportunity. Okay,
and the judge told him he heard what he said. Do that in the courtroom.
Okay, but then he also had hit Mr. Seale's attorneys as well too. Am I correct on that side?
Yes, they did.
Oh. In other words, Sarge, when I look at these damn kangaroo, and then these people who buy their way out of convictions, I don't believe that this is true thing of this, that there is no lies detected in here. I mean, like Al Pacino said in the movie And Justice for All, the judge is out of order. The jury's out of order. The whole court system itself is out of order. So it's all built on hypocrisy.
Shabaka, I don't know about you, but I never in my life, since I started studying history, ever believed that there's never any hypocrisy or wrongdoing or skullduggery either in the United States or any other nation on the planet. I've never believed, I never will. So I made that assumption. What I have said, and I will continue to maintain, is this country was founded on the noblest of premises and aspired to live up to them, however imperfectly. That is what I have said. That's what I maintain now, and I will continue to do so, because there's no other country in the history of mankind that ever began that way. Period. End of story.
Okay, Sarge. Okay, Sarge. When the white folks, when the white folks came here to America, did they ask the Native Americans for their permission to be here?
No.
I don't believe they did, because they didn't have diplomatic relationships with the Indians.
Okay, of course they didn't. They just came there, man, imposed their lifestyle, their will on them. And then, when the men folk had stood up and said, hey, guess what, brothers? We're being invaded. Just like with Chief Crazy Horse and Sitting Bull, when they got together and smoked a peace pipe, and they told the chief of their Arapaho up there, Little Bighorn, Sarge, and I passed Little Bighorn. You know what I'm saying? I did. Okay. And And they told the chief of the Arapaho, hey, man, we know you giving Custer this intel information, okay? But when he and we're taking him out. And it's simple because this is our land.
Hey, Shabaka. Yeah, the Europeans came here and did that, sort of like the Asiatic cousins of the Indians, you know, the Mongols did in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of like that, yeah. They didn't ask for permission either. They just came in and conquered.
And
people do that. Hey, Shabaka, people do that. I hate to break it to you.
Besides, just like how they tried to get rid of the black man here in America, which they did via that branding iron, via whip, via that auction box. And they only wanted him
via them slave poles. We got a caller. I think it's quicker after Joe Gibson.
You see what I'm saying?
It's you, Joe. Yes, it's Joe. I think it's
okay.
You know, Gates got his hand up right there.
Okay. Before you get Joe, let me say one thing. Let me say one thing before I go here. All right.
What's that?
First of all, the people and sold into slavery by their African brethren. I don't care how much you try to deny it.
And the ones who did the selling were captured also. And the ones who did the selling were captured also.
Who were deprived of the culture by their brothers. Now, they didn't deprive me of that culture. Hey, wait a minute.
It was divide and conquer.
Wait a minute, Shabaka. They didn't deprive me of that culture because I never experienced it. The culture I experienced was a black American culture that developed hundreds of years before I was even born, and that was a culture I was born into, and I was never deprived of
on a
one day of my life. I was never deprived of my culture for one day of my life. Again, I'm going to tell you, I was never, Shabaka, you are free to regard yourself as being deprived of culture you never experienced. That's your right to do. I was never deprived of any culture. The culture I was born into was with me from then until now. I was never deprived of any culture that wasn't mine.
Okay, Sarge, are we going to talk about the hummingbird again, man? Are we going back to the hummingbird, Sarge?
Okay, so I know I was brought up with. I was brought up with gumbo and jambalaya and with a rural culture and all of those things that were the things that black people developed in this country that became part of their culture and became part of my culture, and I was never deprived of it for one microsecond.
Okay, now Sarge, back to the hummingbird. Here we go. Okay, we got you, Joe. Your mic is unmuted. It is because I'm sure you. Okay, I know, Joe. You got a lot to say. Okay. So, when you look at slavery in this country, it was brutal. It was sad. It was bad. It was sadistic. Just like what we talked about, man. You know, when you said you want to talk about Mandingo. But the thing that I want to know is
I didn't want to talk about Mandingo.
Okay, but Sarge. But the thing is that I don't understand is this, Sarge. Riddle me this, man. You know, maybe I'm getting old. Maybe I've smoked too many cigarettes in my life, cigars and what have you, and I'm on about 2 or 3 different medications right now. But when did black men take white men, hang them on a tree, cut their private parts out, and put it in their mouth, and put it on physical display, and put it in photographs where those who did this atrocious shit, notorious stuff, are standing around grinning and smiling? And
about 18 months ago in South Africa, actually, they did it to a white farmer.
I was just about to say that case.
That's great news.
Well, I was about to answer some others for you too.
Is a bitch, ain't it? And keep in mind, Joe Gibson, is that the Boer is the invader there, okay? The Zulus, the Xhosa, you know what I mean? That's their land. Okay, you understand?
No, it's not true. No.
Oh, yes, true. That's true. That's true,
No, it isn't.
Listen to Miriam Makeba.
No, it isn't.
Why do you think we play African Sunset every time we come on? And tribute to Miriam Makeba?
No. The Matabele took it from the San. The San were there first, and they damn near exterminated them before the Boers ever got there.
Sarge.
So the Matabele and other South African tribes took it from the San people.
Nations, Sarge. Nations. They were nations.
See, that's what I mean. You want to ignore that atrocity as though those Bushmen weren't human. Bushmen weren't human?
In a cave that eats raw meat. Okay, and that does not know how to wash his ass. Okay, it was black women that developed it.
You run away from everything I say. You
running away from everything you say. No, Sarge, I'm merely stating that you are wrong.
Right.
Period. I won't contest that, man. I will contest that with the archaeological record because I think I'm right.
Okay,
I think I'm correct.
It's okay.
I think there was an extermination campaign raised by indigenous African tribes against the original Bushmen of the South African Kalahari because they wanted to take it over from them before the Boers ever got there.
Okay, Sarge.
But you don't want to pay attention to that. You want to act like that didn't happen.
Okay, but Sarge, whatever internal conflicts happen on the continent, Africa does not have nothing to do with no Europeans. Okay, because what's the Europeans saying? Divide and conquer, because they came from a land with no resources, constant rain, constant snow. Iceland, Norway, you know what I'm saying? Vikings. And they had the audacity to call themselves superior.
And civilized.
Okay. All right, hold on, Sarge. Take a breather. Go back to the round, Sarge, and just sit in your corner for a minute. Okay. And you're looking pretty good.
I'll tell you what. Okay. I'll tell you. Why don't you go on to Joe? I know Joe wants to get in on this. Let Joe get in on it. But I'm going to come back. We're going to revisit, if you want to, we'll revisit this issue of what happened to the Bushmen and the San people.
Okay, Sarge, and I got a whole bunch of books
on the Boers either.
Okay, Sarge, I got a whole bunch of books here by Lerone Bennett that I got to read, okay, which I will do. You know, we going into training camp for you, Sarge. You're a tough customer. Yeah. Okay, Joe Gibson, welcome, man. I called it. Yes, sir.
My question is, Shabaka, is that if exploration never happened, you just say, for instance, the white man never came to America and so therefore slavery never happened. Tell me, what type of quality of life would you have today, Shabaka, if you were born in the African continent compared to today?
Okay, all right. Okay, glad you brought that up, okay? It's because, as I stated before, I was in a Starbucks, okay? There was a young woman there who was from West Africa, okay? And I asked her if she was Ashanti or Fulani. She stated to me that she was Ashanti, and then she stated to me is that if she was Fulani, she would look just like me. Okay, so right there, okay, that did, satisfy it for me. Now, keep in mind, due to the Eurocentric influence in Africa, oh yeah, you got some crooks over there. This is why the damn continent, man, is constantly being ran over, man, by you Europeans, because you're coming in there for the oil. You're coming in there, man, for the bauxite, the diamonds, the silicon, Joe. You know what I'm saying? Sit by San Francisco Bay sometimes by the Golden Gate Bridge and look at all those cargo container ships from where, China, with the silicon that they get from Africa. But we supposed to sit up there and be Uncle Tim Scott, you the dog, I love you. Now, when I was younger, Joe, Negroes like that, I used to despise with the passion. But as I've gotten older, Joe, I feel very, very sorry for them. I feel very, very sorry for them. You see what I'm saying? But this is why I thank God of being a black man. You see what I'm saying?
Let me know when I get back in with you, because I want to go at you with this thing, because I ain't going to let it go.
I really didn't understand. I didn't understand the answer. So what type of quality of life would you be enjoying today in Africa compared to today that you're enjoying in America?
Okay, well, actually, Joe, I'm not enjoying a great life here in America because every fucking time that I get in my vehicle, I have to worry about some schizophrenic, psychopathic race soldier with a gun on his hip wondering, hey, is this going to be the NGR that I'm going to kill today?
Why is that?
Say, you never expect. Okay, hold on, Joe. Joe. You don't know what that's like, Joe. You don't know what that's like. You do not know what that's like. When you get pulled over by the police, Joe. When you get pulled over by the police, okay, Joe. When you get pulled over by the police, they refer to you as Mr. Gibson or what have you. You see what I'm saying? I've been called all kind of derogatory stuff by the police. You know what I'm saying? What you doing over here and all that? You know, I tell them I got a constitutional right, man. I'm subjugating to getting my ass whooped, man. It's not murder. You know what I mean?
How many times you been kidnapped by the police and beaten up? How many times you been kidnapped?
At least twice, Joe.
Kidnapped, literally forced to kidnap, bring yourself like and beaten up. Wow. Okay, well,
no, Sarge, no, Joe. What the LAPD does, they like to make their ass whoopings, man, publicly, like they did Rodney King. You see what I'm saying? Because they know they're not going to jail. Anytime that you have police captains, man, who are married to prosecutors and judges and things of that nature right there, they're in cahoots. Just like Malcolm X said, the black community has the highest amount of crime, yet it has the highest amount of police, so surely the cops must be in cahoots with the criminals.
Well, sorry that happened.
And they do it on an extortionary basis.
Okay.
Look at a movie called The Mac. Look at a movie called The Mac, Joe. And I think you would love to see Carol Speed. You know what I'm saying? But look at a movie called The Mac.
Don't start going on me now.
Okay.
Okay, no, we're not talking about Mandingo tonight, Sarge. You know, I'm enjoying the sunset here. Okay, not tonight, Sarge. You know what I'm saying? Not tonight. Age is catching up with me. Okay, but Joe Gibson, go right ahead.
Well, it's just interesting that those responses that you gave, but still, yet you want reparations. So because the quality of life.
Oh hell yeah, man! Because we built your fucking country that you enjoy.
Reparations.
You see what I'm saying?
What did you build?
We've been down there on your plantations, man, harvesting that tobacco for you, that cotton, that sugar cane that you made money off of whiskey on, that you reinvested and invested again and invested again. But however, though, Joe, as I told you, from a financial point of view now, looking at finances now, had you not, well, when I'm saying you, not personally Joe Gibson, but on a collective basis of white folks here in America. When you made that initial investment, you kept parlaying your money and you bossed it up again and again and again. And then when they had the Freedmen's Bank, you see what I'm saying? The Federal Reserve came and stole the money. That's how they started the Federal Reserve with the money in the Freedmen's Bank. You see, but see, Joe, but when I mention this here to you, man, it goes on deaf ears. Now, one thing about you, Joe, you're a little bit more cager than Sarge. You like to slip, you know, incoming rights and what have you. And sometimes, Joe, you know, it's the with you. You see what I mean? Just like with Sarge, you know what I'm saying? But Sarge, he gets his blood pressure up at things of that nature right there. And keep in mind, you know, the eject button is not working tonight. You know, it got a disabled sign on it, so we're not ejecting nobody. But what you're saying, though, to me, Joe, is that I'm supposed to sit up here, love white Americans, because I'm not on the continent of Africa, is that your president, 45 and 47, because he will buy the next election. Shithole countries, and I'm supposed to be so grateful that you kidnapped my ancestors, violated my ancestresses, okay, and I'm supposed to sit up there like Tim Scott. Oh, I just love you. I'm not kind of nigga.
I don't think that anyone alive today has suffered any of the things that you're talking about. Now, maybe your ancestors...
yes, they have, Joe. Oh, yes, they have. It's called police brutality because, Joe, you don't dig You've been through hell with them, and I understand and recognize that. But like what we try to tell great Sarge right here, the police are not elected officials. The police evolved from slave patrols. Look at the similarity of the badges. The police are policy enforcers.
Yep.
And the only duly elected law enforcement official who is elected would be the county, rather if it's LA County, rather if it's Crook County, Mayberry County.
Slave patrol?
Yes, Sarge.
Oh, yeah, these are the police. From
the exact same one, Sarge. They wear the same badge that they wore in South Carolina for the Patty Roll.
Exactly.
Now, look, I want to let me know when you're ready to have me go at you, Shabaka. Just let me know. I'm planning about
it. Come on with it, Sarge.
He said something about whale.
Well versed in history.
I'm about to do with you first.
Okay, hold on, Joe. What are you saying about Azania?
I'm saying anything. I said start.
Okay, no, but Joe, you said that you had some comments about the nation of Azania.
No, I didn't say that. No, I didn't say that.
Sure you did. Didn't you mention something about South Africa?
Hear what Sarge had to say. That's what I said.
Okay, you talk about Azania, right? Which is the true name
I don't know any
of
Azania.
South
I know
Africa.
about South Africa. Yeah, South Africa.
Okay. No, Joe.
What they were named 300 years ago.
Okay, Joe. Hold on, Joe. The true name, of what they commonly refer to as South Africa is Azania. Why do you think, Joe, although you guys don't ever listen to Mama Africa, that she does our introduction on here, and Ms. Makiba spoke Xhosa, she spoke Zulu, she spoke French, she spoke English as well too, and as she had stated, is that our traditions were handed down orally from the griots. But we did not exist until the white man had came here and said, poof, you exist, which is ridiculous. Okay. And Joe, excuse me,
you said that we didn't know what soap was. You said, how could we come to a country that was so superior and knowledgeable, and you guys were, and overcome you? I don't get it.
Because you're savages.
Okay, because Joe, we made the mistake, Joe, just like the indigenous people here in the United States, what is referred to as the United States. We made a mistake, Joe, of showing the Europeans friendship who came with evil intent. Now that we know, this is why you have individuals in the Black community throughout the whole diaspora that have the attitudes that Brother Che and myself have.
Yep.
We looked at your experience. We looked at your inhabitant.
So you're saying you taught us, and then we...
In other words, Joe, the Europeans came with what is commonly referred to as bullshit. Okay,
yeah, but I'm just saying, though, we deceived you, right? We deceived you. That's what you're saying, right? We tricked you.
Pretty much. Divide and conquer techniques. The lies you write in the history books, not you, Joe Gibson, personally, but Europeans. Okay.
Shabaka.
Yeah.
See, this is what I mean. I told you a while back I was waiting to respond to your question about the invasion of Southern Africa, and you wouldn't let me get back in. So see, I'm waiting and waiting, and now you've gone on to 15 other subjects in the meantime. Rather than let me respond to you contemporaneously when you bought the
Go ahead and respond, Sarge. You got the floor, Sarge.
Let's get back to what I was trying to say about the Bushmen and the sun. Okay? Now, anthropologists have dated their inhabitants of the region now known as Botswana and generally in Southern Africa for at least 40,000 years. At least 40,000 years, they were nomadic people who inhabited that region. Now, it's possible it might go back 60,000, but it's certain it's at least 40,000. Now, nobody else seems to have inhabited this region until Bantu-speaking Black African pastoralists, ones who graze cattle and sheep and domestic animals.
I know what a pastoral
I just want to make sure we're on the same wavelength.
Livestock.
All right, I just want to make sure we're on the same wavelength. Okay, that's what I make sure. I'm aiming for clarity here. All right, that's why I said it. All right, now these tribes, like the
nations.
No,
they were nations.
National tribes.
The tribes were the Norwegians, the Germans,
we can get to that in a minute.
The French. Those are tribes.
See, you got to throw me off again, and I'm not going to be able to raise the point which I wanted to raise 5 to 8 minutes ago.
Okay, Sarge, get to the point.
So
and I'm getting ready to slip your right hand, Sarge.
These black national tribes moved down from West and Central Africa sometime around 100 AD. Now, what happened was a classical pattern of cultural displacement. These people were aggressive. They had the peaceful hunter-gatherers, which were the Bushmen. They didn't have any real warrior tradition at all. They were just basically hunter-gatherers. They cleared them from the land as they would game. They killed the men. They took the women as concubines, and they assimilated the indigenous San into their own culture. Why do we know that? Why are we certain of that? Because the clicking tonal sounds that you have in many of Southern Africa's Bantu nations originated with the San, along with shamanic healing and rain-making traditions that are still found among Bushmen and Bantu groups.
There was a movie about
now in Ndebele, the Zulu, and the Botswana, as late as the 19th and 20th centuries, were still raiding what remained of the San Bushman culture, and they completely either wiped them out or assimilated them into their own culture. This is a pattern of conquest that is typical amongst all people. The reason the Boers were able to do it is because they had technologically superior weapons. That's why.
They came with bullshit. They came with a book called the Bible.
They had superior weapons to the Bushmen.
In the beginning, we had the land, and the European had the Bible.
See how you ignore everything I
said? The Bible, and the European has the land.
He has no response to what I said.
Bullshit, Sarge. Come on.
He got no response to what I just said. He just completely
the European came there with divide and conquer techniques.
And I just said they did.
Admit it, man.
And I just said they did.
Sarge.
And I said they are no different. They are no different than what the African people did.
No, Sarge, we are much different because we had a much sense of culture.
I say no.
We had a much. Okay, Sarge, that's your opinion, man, and you're entitled to it.
And that's the whole point of it all.
Do I need to send you, Sarge? Do I need to send you pictures of all these books by Mr. Lerone Bennett? Because I don't recognize Henry Louis Gates at all. Okay, although I got some of his material right here. Okay, because to me, Henry Louis Gates is one miseducated Negro, and Dr. Gates, you are welcome to call this number as well, too. And I'm going to get Dr. Marimba Ani in her book called The Urugu Alpha, which is translated a disaster so bad it is beyond description. Is because our people came in chains, with European savages beating them, giving them all kind of diseases. You see what I'm saying? And it is a disaster so bad it is beyond description.
What did the European nations do?
Go ahead, Sarge.
I do appreciate Shabaka. I do appreciate the fact that you acknowledge what I said. The only thing was, at least after acknowledging it, you then proceeded to dismiss it as being irrelevant. But you were forced to acknowledge it, and that's all I wanted to do. Thank you very much.
No, Sarge, I wasn't forced to acknowledge anything. It's that I was just informing you of the treachery, the lies, the deceit of the Europeans,
Well, you said it didn't matter.
Okay, Sarge.
It didn't matter. It was irrelevant.
We had the land. The European had the Bible. We closed our eyes and bowed to pray. When we opened our eyes, we had the Bible, and the European had the land. Now, Sarge, off the streets of Los Angeles, where I've come from, sir, that is called getting your head bumped. To quote the words of Malcolm X, we've been had, we've been took, we've been bamboozled. But we're supposed to sit up there
you know what the lesson for me is? You know what the lesson for me is? You want to know what the lesson for me is? You better have the will to keep the other guy out of your country, because if you can't do it, you're going to lose it. That's why we're going to lose it to the illegal aliens if we don't do what needs to be done. We'll be on the ash heap of history just like they were.
Okay,
that's my lesson. That's the lesson I learned from it.
Okay, hold on, Sarge. I don't understand, Sarge, why tonight, looking at our scorecard here, Sarge, I don't know why you and I's bout, man, is even, and me and Joe Gibson's bout is I'm one round ahead. You see what I'm saying? Now, Joe,
you're a bigoted judge. What do you expect yourself to be? If you're doing the judging,
Sarge,
I'm supposed to be surprised?
Sarge, why am I a bigoted judge? Sarge, I'm out here.
You might say you're conflicted there, Mr. Judge.
Okay, hold on, Sarge. I'm out here in Sin City. Okay, everybody's here. Jimmy 2 times, Frankie Bonus, Fredo, you know what I'm saying, Michael, you know what I'm saying, Frank Pantangeli. What goes on in Vegas, gentlemen, stays in Vegas. You know what I mean? But the point is this. If there's to be some true racial healing in this country, you got to cut the check, man, for the sixes. No, for where we at, Brother Che, on the tab. Okay, where we at on the tab there for the reparations, Brother Che?
Trillion, Shabaka, damn near $1 gazillion. That the world reserved just the
$1 billion. Okay, let's go over the $1 zillion. Okay, now, okay, Brother Chair, I'm gonna let you take on Joe Gibson. Okay, Joe, I know you got something to say that we're all wrong, that we're a bunch of black racists and all this old type of good shit.
I think what Sarge is talking about is real, because we're going to lose this country, and you know, I don't know where you can think your future's going to lay. I mean, you're not going to be tolerating anybody if these immigrants take over.
Who is we?
Okay,
the Chinese.
Okay,
people come to the South border.
Who's we, Joe? Who's we?
Well,
who's we?
I consider Sarge my brother. I consider him a fellow American and patriot. So, I mean, where do you consider yourself?
That is what I am. A black man in America, a Pan-Africanist, a black nationalist. That's what I am, Joe.
Well, a black man, what side? Where are you going to be on the side of things? Where are you going to go? Do you think the south of the border, they're going to take you?
Okay, Joe. I'm in my twilight years, man. Okay, you see what I'm saying? I don't have long to be here, Joe. I'm older than you. The only thing that I can do, Joe. Okay, hold on. Joe, it could happen tomorrow. Okay.
Exactly.
But the only thing, that I could do, Joe, is to pass on the experiences that I've lived through to the generations after me, man, so they would not get sucked in with this ketchup up the rectum shit, talking about a man can menstruate. Not the garbage about these dudes is gonna go up here and have operations, man, to bear children. Okay, children are born or bared by women, not men. Okay, and then keep in mind, a lot of these dudes, man, have been subjugated to some type of abuse, and they're coming up. You see what I'm saying? But
so you want the younger people to want freedom, individual freedom, and self-governance. There's nothing wrong with that, but you're not going to get it with the Chinese and the rest of them.
Okay. Tell you what, Joe. Let me sit up here and say, for the sake of debate and argument, that you are right, and this is the more reason for black people to get their cohesiveness back. Now, let me ask you this here, gentlemen. I'm looking at Abby Phillip, and I'm looking at Laura Coates right here on TV right now. Now they showing this picture of this woman by the name of Stormy Daniels. And the sight of Stormy Daniels makes me want to vomit. But these two
That's your first mistake
beautiful
right
black
there.
women right here that I'm looking at is that my compliments to their husbands. They have excellent choice. Moving right along.
No, man, dig on me, damn it.
Sarge. Let me tell you something. To quote the words of the former heavyweight champion, Muhammad Ali, when he got on the talk show, and he had crumb-bombed on Ken Norton so bad for playing that. And that's the thing that white America hated about Ali, because Ali stood up for his people, and he didn't have to do it. Okay. When Muhammad Ali went and spoke at the University of Texas in 1967, they called him a coward. All these white men called this man a coward, the NGR term and all that. But he says if he is such a coward and that if he's going to go somewhere to die, that he was prepared to die fighting one of them. How come nobody took him up on this challenge and you could hear it?
Wait a minute. He also said that if the United States was invaded, he'd be the first one to go and sign up for the armed forces. So he said that too. So let's get everything.
He didn't say that, Sarge. He didn't say that, Sarge.
Yes, he did. Yes,
no,
he did.
Sarge, he didn't.
I'll even tell you when he said it. I will. I got the book. I'll go get it, and I will tell you when and where he said it. He did say it.
And what was the name of the book, Sarge?
He said that he would Muhammad Ali and a biography, and he said in that book that if the United States was threatened or invaded by an enemy of the United States, since this is his country, he would be one of the first ones to sign up to defend. And I believe him on both counts. He didn't want to go to Vietnam, and I believe he would also defend this country if it was threatened with invasion. I believe both things about it.
Okay, Sarge. Okay, and you got this here out of The Greatest My Own Story, correct?
Yeah.
He said,
he wasn't afraid. Look, we know, Shabaka. We know that Muhammad Ali did not lack for courage to face anybody he thought was his enemy. Now we know that no matter what anybody said, he had courage, and he was the only thing was he didn't want to be employed as a soldier against what he saw as people of color who didn't do anything for the United States. Somebody doing something to the United States, that's his own. What's he going to do? Let somebody invade it and take it? He believed just as strongly, maybe as I would, that you need to defend your country against an outside aggressor.
Okay, so now let me make sure I got that. So if you have some neo-colonialists, let's say like from Brother Chill, you still with me?
Yeah, I'm still here, Shabbat.
Yes.
Okay, well, to the best of your knowledge, man, what neo-colonialists, man, you know, that sides with the Europeans as against their own African people. I'm talking about these puppets. Okay, and
you're talking about the tethers.
And one of these puppets, man, I believe was involved in the killing of Thomas Sankara back in 1987. When Sankara refused, you know, to kneel to the... Who was that?
You asking me what was his name?
Yes.
It wasn't Biko. No.
Okay.
Give me 1 second, Shabaka.
Now, also, too, Sarge. Okay, yeah. In the meantime, I'm going to let Sarge know this. Sarge, Joe Gibson. As we all know, and I got banned on social media for about 30 days for posting this statement. He says, ain't no Vietcong ever raped our women, castrated our men folk. You see what I'm saying? Ain't no Vietcong ever called me a nigga. The white man is my enemy. He said in that in his first reign as champion, Sarge. You know, I think Joe might have been a little bit too young for that, but you remember that, Sarge. I know you do.
I remember that. I remember when he said that. I remember that very well.
Well, yeah.
What you're not doing, though, is acknowledging that he also said what I said. He said both things.
Sarge, what I'm looking at is show me in his autobiography called The Greatest My Own Story where he said that, because I read the book twice. Okay, I read it as a teenager and I read it as an adult, and I never seen anything up there like that. But one thing he did say is that when he was going through his legal paperwork, looking over his draft conviction and his court cases and stuff like that, he had stated that, you know, the chills went up his spine. He went broke. He had a second wife, a new baby on the way. It's what?
Charles Taylor.
Okay, Charles Taylor. Okay, now, if I believe Charles Taylor was the president of Liberia at one time.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And then also, too, and as we all know, that Liberia was a place where Africans from America had went there to settle there. And this was during a time when, when James Monroe was the president. Okay, and they had the stipulation that when they formed Liberia, they had to name the capital after James Monroe, and that's why they called it Monrovia. Am I correct in that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, all right, now, but I'm still trying to find in the greatest, my own story, where Ali said he would fight for America, and I read the book twice. Once as a young man when it first came out, and about 10 years ago, and I do not recall that, of Ali making that statement. I think, Sarge, what the man, Sarge, hold on, let me say this here. I think what the man had stated, that if his personal safety was in jeopardy by anyone at that time, that he would fight just like what anybody else would do, okay, unfortunately. It's because, Sarge, you there in the gangster capital of the world, Chicago, you know what I'm saying? Similar things in LA with black on black crime that's being manipulated by the white power structure, because me and Joe had argued about that on his show, if memory served me correct. You say, but I think the biggest mistake that we as black people would make is to sit up here and side with our oppressors. That's not intelligent. The X-Man told you that.
You know what? In fact, let me get it right now. I'm going to get it. I'm going to find it, and I'm going to play it for you so you can hear him in his own words. It's a documentary.
Okay,
I got it right now. In my hand.
What do you have,
It's a PBS autobiography, Muhammad Ali, a film by Ken Burns, bigger than boxing, larger than life. I got it in my hands. I tell you what I'm going to do, because it's a 4-hour documentary. I'm going to go through this thing, and I'm going to get for you when he made that quote so you can hear him say it. I remember now from this documentary. I'm going to get it out, I'm going to play it, and you're going to hear him say it in his own words. He would join the armed forces of the United States and fight for his country if it was invaded by an enemy. I'm paraphrasing, but that's essentially what he said.
Okay, what type of enemy?
What did I just say? Any enemy that would invade the United States.
Oh, whoa, hold it. No, Sarge. You can
he didn't qualify it. I mean, I guess you're going to have a seance with him. You're going to have a seance to know exactly what he meant. But all I'm telling you is what his words were.
Okay, Sarge. So you telling me, okay, on a hypothetical situation, okay, that if an African nation invaded the United States of America, that he will kill black people for white folks to preserve America. That's what you're telling me, right?
You know what? I am not going to be Muhammad Ali's spokesman.
Okay,
Muhammad Ali did not designate me to be his spokesman, so I cannot answer that. But here's what I'm going to say. I think he probably thought that idea was so absurd that he didn't even want to consider it.
Okay, Sarge, show me where Ali had stated that he would die for America, okay, against a black nation that quote unquote.
Okay, see, here's what I mean. Now you're adding stuff in there I didn't say. I didn't say anything about that. Why you add stuff I didn't say? I'm not a spokesman. You know what? If you put it that way to him, He might agree with you. How the hell do I know? All I know is what he said. All I know is what he said. I'm going to take it at face value. He probably thought the idea of an African nation invading the United States is so absurd that he never even ever considered it.
Okay, but Sarge, why do you think when he signed the fight with George Foreman that he had stated that I need this fight to happen on the continent of Africa because I want to get the crown back in front of my African brothers and sisters?
African country invading the United States.
Okay, Sarge.
Invading the United States.
Okay, Sarge. The only thing I can say about that is this, okay? If an African nation decided to invade the United States, which is not going to happen in your lifetime, it's not going to happen in my lifetime, and it's not going to happen in Brother Che's lifetime.
Thought the same way, I'm sure.
But
even though I'm not a spokesman for him.
Okay, Sarge, show me that where Ali said that he will kill black people from a black nation.
I can't. So therefore what?
I know, because it doesn't exist, homie. That's my point,
Sarge. One unlikely possibility to the exclusion of all others.
Okay, but Sarge.
Wait, will you answer my question? Will you answer my question? Why are you giving me one unlikely possibility to the exclusion of something more likely, like maybe Cuba or the Soviet Union or somebody else? Why are you giving that?
Sarge. Okay, Sarge. So you telling me, as a black man in America, that if another nation, let's say the Hungarians, the Ukrainians, oh man, who else? Shit. Well, wait a minute. All these guys are part of NATO, England, France, and Belgium. Okay. So you're telling me
Warsaw Pact nation, because at the time he was alive, it would have been the Warsaw Pact. One of those countries.
Now, hold on, Sarge. Okay, so therefore, Sarge, so what I'm supposed to do, if the U.S. gets invaded, that I'm supposed to be up here, man, in the twilight of my life, and I'm supposed to go up there to lay down my life for a white man to defend the United States.
I'm not telling you what you're going to do, Shabaka. You can tell me yourself. You're right here. I'm not going to speak for you.
Okay.
Now, you're going to ask me what I think you ought to do. That's another matter. I'm not going to tell you what you're supposed to do. That's up to you.
Hold on, Sarge. Okay, what should I do, Sarge? What should I do?
I think every citizen of the United States, everyone who claims to be a citizen of the United States anyway, should be prepared to defend their country from any invader, period. End of story.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
Okay, Sarge. When they cut the check for the $1 zillion for reparations, I might halfway consider it. A zillion, we at a zillion now, Brother Che.
All right, so I got my answer. You're not going to do it. That's good enough for me. I don't need, remember, I don't need agreement. I just need clarity. You're not prepared to defend your country.
Sarge, I'm a black man in the United States of America.
Well, that's the right
I don't have no rights here.
That's an answer. That's good. I got an answer.
Sarge, I don't have no rights here.
An answer.
Okay, I don't have no rights here in America. No black man
that's
does.
Your explanation. That's good enough for me.
Okay. And
I'm not about to tell you what you ought to do.
This stupid stuff. And then when I look at this stupid stuff, man, about this farce of an election that's coming up, here you got a psychopath on one side of the ticket, and then here you got a octogenarian man who can't go to the restroom properly and forgets half the shit of what he's talking about. So it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. You might as well take your damn presidential ballot, man, and throw it up on a fucking wall and throw darts at it.
Well, wait a minute, man. You know, this conscientious objection, if you can make the case that you're a conscientious objector, you ain't got to go. That's in the law, too.
Okay. Okay, but hold on,
Sarge. Look, man, like I said, I'm not here to tell you what you're supposed to do.
Hold it, go, Sarge. getting back to Ali, he stated he was a conscious objector. They took away that man's livelihood. They called that man a criminal. But then the U.S. Supreme Court, and I remember the day it happened, it was on the news, when the U.S. Supreme Court, and I forgot, I don't know if Earl Warren was still the Chief Justice or not, but they said they had overturned his draft conviction on the ground of his religious beliefs. You see what I'm saying? You know, and it was, let me see, he fought Frazier March 1971. I think he was June or July of the same year, Sarge. You know, but you're well
fought
read,
Jerry
Sarge.
Quarry first. He fought Jerry Quarry first, remember in Atlanta?
Yeah. And Jerry Quarry got up there and said that he was going to go in there, and this is Quarry's word, is that I'm going to go kick this nigger's ass. And Ali said, come on with it.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yes, he
Where did he say that in the who? Where did he say that in the who?
Okay, on a local radio station in Los Angeles, because Quarry was out of Los Angeles.
I'm calling foul on that one. But for now, I'm going to look into it. I'm writing notes down now. Remember, Charlie, check Shabaka'S claim that Jerry Quarry said he's going to go kill that nigga. I'm going to go look that up.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said.
I don't think he did.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said.
That was a Jerry Quarry style. That just wasn't his style. I know Jerry Quarry
and Ali should have put some style on it.
Well, he did, but I'm saying what you said, that is totally uncharacteristic of Jerry Quarry. It just is. Now,
No,
if he said it, I'm going to be
great
surprised.
white hope, man. He was the great
Well,
white
he may have
hope.
been, man, but I don't think he said anything like what you said he did. I think somebody told you that, you just ran with it.
No, Sarge. He said it.
Well,
Okay.
until I see it, I just don't believe it because it's uncharacteristic of the man.
Sarge. You're your own man. I'm not going to tell you what to believe,
He had pugilistic dementia. He had pugilistic dementia just before he died.
Okay, well, that was Ali beating his ass there, man, in 1972.
Not only him, some others too.
Let me see, who else whipped his ass? Ali whooped his ass. Smoke whooped his ass. Let me see. I think Quarry beat Jimmy Ellis. See, Sarge, I got to go to my books, man.
Quarry may not have been a champion, but he's a legitimate contender. He beat some top names in the game. He wasn't just a tomato can, okay? The man was a competent journeyman fighter. So stop it.
Okay, now.
You know I know boxing.
Now,
you know I know boxing, and I know a decent fighter when I see him. And Jerry Quarry wasn't the greatest by any stretch of imagination, but he was a decent fighter.
Sarge. Okay, but hold on, Sarge. Now, if you recall, the old Jet magazine in 1972, where Muhammad Ali was fighting Jerry Quarry in the second fight here in Sin City, and heavyweight title bout was the prelude to Bob Foster fighting Mike Quarry. What happened with Mike Quarry? He got knocked out cold.
Damn, Mike Quarry's brother is not a Jerry Quarry. They're two different people. What's that got to do with
they fought on the same card, Sarge. Okay. Mike Quarry and Bob Foster, man, was the co-main event. Ali
Bob Foster was a great
okay.
light heavyweight. What do you want? Bob Foster was one of the greatest of all time. Jesus.
Sir, Bob Foster was the light heavyweight champion, Sarge.
Yeah, but he put on weight to fight as a heavyweight.
All he had to do was come in at 177 or heavier than your heavyweight. The limit to light heavyweight Sarge was 175 pounds.
No. Heavyweight, no. Heavyweight is 190 and above. Nope, it's not 177.
Okay, by today's standards, I'm talking about back then. Okay, wait a minute.
They changed the weight standard appreciably since then. Heavyweight is 190 and up.
Sarge. Okay, hold on, Sarge. Okay, for a light heavy, the limit of
that
was 175
pounds. I was
90
fighting as a light heavyweight, and I was
We're going to overtime. Don't nobody hang up.
Okay, we're in
I
overtime.
know what that weight classification was, Joe.
Okay. Now, what had happened was
Shabaka, excuse me.
Yeah. Okay. Now, Mike Quarry got knocked out cold, and I had a hell of a time trying to wake him up. You know that, right?
What's that got to do with Jerry Quarry?
Okay, it's because Jerry Quarry
You're
went
both
there
wrong.
and whooped his ass in the main event.
You're both wrong. I just looked it up.
And then I remember Ali
So let me
saying,
see.
hold
The
on,
greatest
Sarge,
fighter of all time beat a journeyman fighter. Well, gee, what a surprise.
Sorry.
Okay, hold on, Sarge.
Yeah, they could have knocked me over with a feather.
Okay. Okay. Ali had beat Jerry Quarry so bad, he told the referee.
Mike Tyson's ass. Hey, Buster Douglas wasn't no great shakes. But Mike Tyson was one of the greatest heavyweights of all time, and Buster Douglas knocked his ass out.
Okay, but look what happened to Buster when he got in the ring with Evander Holyfield.
Okay, what did I just say? Hey, it depends on the day. A lot of times when you get in the boxing game, it depends on the day you get in the ring.
Well, that's true, Sarge. You'll get no, you know what I'm saying? You'll get no argument from me on that.
My point is not that Jerry Quarry was the greatest heavyweight of all time. He was. He was a decent fighter, and he was a legitimate contender. That's my only point. He was no match for Muhammad Ali. He was no match for Joe Frazier. He was no match for Bob Foster. But he was a legitimate contender, and he beat some pretty good fighters in his day.
Well, Sarge, yeah, he did. Okay.
Okay, that's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to make him into Superman.
Okay. Hello?
You were in overtime, Shabaka.
Okay, what happened to Sarge? Did you mute him out?
No, he's still here.
I'm here. I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, because, you know, they play games with us here, you know, at Shabaka'S Blacc Experience Enhanced. but because they can't stand his truth, you know what I'm saying? And we're not going to bite our tongues. We don't ass scratch. We don't yassa boss. We're not Tim Scott supporters here. Right. Sorry, hate to be the bearer of bad news. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of it as well, too, we're all not the same. You see what I'm saying? Now, Sarge, you said that you would go give a blood transfusion to a Klux, okay? If you had the same blood type as the Klux, you had stated that you would go up there and give them your blood. Okay?
Now, wait a minute. I'm not going to travel cross-country to get no Klansman my blood transfusion. If we're in the same vicinity, and the doctor's asking for somebody to donate blood who's got the same blood type, and nobody else is available, yeah, that's when I'm going to do it.
Okay.
I'm not going out of the way to do it.
Okay, but Sarge, you already know how I would feel about that Klux.
Hey, that's on you, brother. I ain't going to tell you how to feel about it. It's your blood. You got a right to keep it in your veins no matter what.
Right, and then on top of it as well too, is that we're in overtime, so we might as well go on and make our closing comments. And okay, ladies and gentlemen, you know, this is Shabaka'S Blacc Experience Enhanced. I'm your host, Shabaka Sankori. Brother Chain Kroomer is our co-executive producer, co-host, and what have you. We appreciate all our contributors, you know, who contribute to our platform, you know, whenever they're available. You know, they're always welcomed. Okay, I don't think we had too much hate mail in the chat room. Hold on, let's check the chat room before we close out right here. And I know Joe probably been in here and wrote a book, as he always does. Okay. All righty. Okay. All right. Okay. And the Alaskan, okay, he stated that he's a black senator. Okay, Joe has stated, I see what side of the fence you're on. Okay, Joe Gibson here says, Rodney King, good guy. Okay, all righty. Well, everybody has the right to their opinions, allegedly. Okay, but, you know, we thank our contributors, you know, for calling in. We love our haters, you know, even with the hate mail that we get in the derogatory terms of which we've been called here on this platform, and we're thankful that we didn't have to use the eject button tonight. You know what I'm saying? If you disagree with us, fine. If you agree with us, hey, we appreciate it, okay? But white America, your reparations, go ahead and do the right thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
You black politicians like Karen Bass, Eric Adams, Brandon Johnson, you clowns need to resign because you totally make the black community look bad. Tim Scott, you might as well go to Hollywood, man, and see if you can go play Stymie at age 85. You know what I mean? And with Netflix and Hollywood toward black actors and actresses, you know what I'm saying? They'll probably will give him the part. Okay, so that is my closing statements. Joe and Sarge can make your closing statements, and then I'm going to ask Brother Che to make his closing statement and close us out, because he's up there in a mile-high income city. And by the way, Brother Che, I hope those Denver Buckets lose, man. And for... Hey, man, for me to call them Nuggets, man, they got to win 2 more championships in a row, and then I will say that they are the Denver Nuggets. Okay, those are my closing comments.
Such a Mr. Bucket.
Well, look, man, I would tell you, Brother Shabaka, I got to admit, man, we don't agree on much of a damn thing, but I got to admit, I do love these little tater tates we have. I do. You, Brother Shay, and Shabaka are amongst the highlights of my week.
Hey, goddammit.
I swear to God it is. I'm serious, man. You know, we don't agree, but, man, you know, we disagree agreeably, and that's all good. And I think something worthwhile comes out of it. So, you know, I mean, hey, right. Let's continue to do it. And remember,
right.
Remember, for me, clarity is always more important than agreement.
Okay, Sarge, you know what I'm saying? You know, you're a grown man, you know what I'm saying? Knowledgeable man. But I tell you one damn thing, old Sarge, you got me up here doing a whole bunch of reading on these books, you know what I mean? And Joe Gibson, well, Joe Gibson is Joe Gibson, you know. He stands on his square, although he and I's squares are diametrically opposed, you know what I'm saying?
You don't say.
Yeah, you know. Yeah, you know, is because, and one thing about Shabaka Sankore, I'm not no coon, I'm not no ass scratcher, I'm not no Uncle Tom, and I'm not no Yassa boss. And same with Brother Che, you know. Yeah, and the only thing I can say in these twilight years of my life, since the sun is setting on me, you know, I have to pass down the information to the generations after me as I've lived through them, so therefore they can make the proper decisions in the future. I do not recognize no man shoving ketchup up his ass, talking about that he's having a menstrual cycle. That is an insult to womanhood. Donald Trump, I think you could have spent your money better, man, or on something other than Stormy Daniels. But of course, Donald Duck, you know, that there's a domestic issue between you and your wife and what have you. And those are my closing comments right there from Sin City.
That's your second closing comments. Go ahead, Joe. What is your closing comment?
Oh, man.
Well, just say thanks for having me. Appreciate the conversation tonight. Thank you, Sarge Shabak, and your co-host there, and God bless our republic.
All right.
Right on.
Okay, all right. You know, the man has a right to feel how he feels.
White supremacy, just like the police are the enforcement arm of racism, white supremacy. So
that is a fact.
The hypocrisy is real. White America doesn't want to face facts, but they have to. The chickens are coming to roost. And you're going to pay what you owe. Otherwise, there's going to be civil war, anarchy, chaos, all the things that you don't dread.
A repeat of 1968.
And we're coming to Washington to get our check.
Democratic National Convention in August.
Hold on. George, I'm going to put you on mute.
In Chicago.
Give my closing.
In Chicago.
Yep, it's going down. So we're coming to Washington to get our check.
And keep in mind, Sarge, Mayor Daley is no longer with us.
Shabaka, Can I please get my?
I'm sorry, Jay.
So yeah, we're coming to Washington.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Jay.
In November. So cut the goddamn check. Otherwise, we're sitting on the couch or we voting third party. And we don't give a damn. We've said for over 5 years now, we don't care if both parties collapse. We don't give a damn because neither one of these parties benefits represents our best interests. And how the hell can two parties represent the interests of 350 million people? So we welcome the collapse. We're gonna sit it out. If so be it, and I hope the Black Chicagoans shut that shit down. The DNC, the Democratic National Convention, in August. I believe it's in August. This is July or August. Shut that ish down. Stop prioritizing these goddamn illegal immigrants over actual citizens, specifically the ones that built this country. And yes, we created a culture, and that culture has permeated the whole world. And we are owed reparations for that as well. So come correct and cut the goddamn check. And also come with the anti-black hate crime legislation. We still have not seen nothing from either one of these parties about an anti-black hate crime bill or law being pushed or promoted in any of the two major parties. So until then, we're going to sit it out. And this is going to be a marathon, not a sprint. And we're prepared to sit it out several election cycles until both parties get the hint you're not going to keep taking the black vote for granted. So, with all that being said, the hypocrisy is definitely real. This country has no moral compass to stand on. The only reason why they even attempt to assimilate or think that they do is because of the foundation of Black Americans. We have always been the moral compass for this country, and that's why everybody wants us to cater for their issues. And now we're sitting it out. We are delineating and we are letting these other groups hold their own nuts. So stop expecting us to come out for your rescue. Them days are over. The cape is off, like we said 5 years ago. So we don't give a damn about any of the shit that's going on in Israel, Palestine, whatever the hell. We got a whole genocide going on right here. And we need to be owed and compensated for that as well. And there's no justice. It's just us. And the whole damn system is guilty, like Shabaka was saying earlier. So we need to overturn this global system of racism and white supremacy, which gives free goodies and giveaways to racist white supremacists such as Joe Gibson, unearned benefits, and replace it with a system of justice, which guarantees that nobody is mistreated by the color of their skin, and those that need the most constructive help get it in a constructive manner. So, peace, love, light, separations, and Black empowerment. Thank y'all for tuning in to this episode of Shabaka'S Blacc Experience Enhanced, Season 8, Episode 35. Join us on Friday for Grand Rises with Shabaka and the Chase at our usual scheduled time of 8 a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Mountain, 10 a.m. Central, and 11 p.m. a.m. in the East. So we will see y'all then. In the meantime, make sure y'all like and subscribe to all of our platforms. Shabaka'S Blacc Experience Enhanced on Facebook and Twitter, now X. Frontline Black News on Facebook and YouTube. And the Revolutionary Agenda on Facebook and YouTube. So we will see y'all then. Stay black, stay dangerous, keep your heads on a swivel. And like I said, stop quoting Martin Luther King if you're not going to quote all of Martin Luther King. Stop saying don't judge a man by the color of his skin, but by the content of his character, and ignore the fact that we are owed $800 trillion for past, present, and future atrocities that have been brought against our people and continue to be brought against our people in 2024. So Chain Kruma signing out from the Mile High Income City. We're going to continue to expose the hypocrisy of white America. Peace, Black family. And what do you want to go with, Shabaka?
Okay, let's see here. Let's go out with milestones by the one and only Mr. Miles Davis.
And we thank you for everybody that tapped in. You know, our favorite Lieutenant in Arms, Sarge, our tether anchor baby, Joe Gibson, and whoever else was listening in the chat room. Mr. Alaskan, and Twin and Mac 285. So we're gonna go out with milestones, peace, love, light, reparations, and separations from the Mile High Income City.